A very good afternoon. Welcome to UBC Weekly News Roundup with me, Sharon Kyomugisha, today on the 15th of June 2025. Today, President Yoweri Museveni has urged the Ugandan diaspora to invest back home and also use their global exposure, networks and influence to attract more tourists to visit Uganda. The president made the remarks on Saturday, 14th June 2025 while meeting a delegation of 25 members of the NRM Diaspora Cadres Initiative led by Boaz Biayesu Kabururu and Richard Chabihende Nkuru from the United States of America. The in-depth engagement at State House in Entebbe focused on key issues, namely savings and investing back home, identifying markets across North America for Ugandan products, promoting and increasing tourism to Uganda, countering misinformation and promoting Uganda's image, attracting investors to Uganda, facilitating skills and technology transfer, and advocating for strategic unity of all Ugandans abroad. The team presented a strategic framework aimed at strengthening the bond between Uganda and its global diaspora while enhancing national development efforts. The president pointed out possible areas of investment, such as establishing low-cost housing in the areas near the industrial parks to save Ugandans the burden of trekking long distances to and from work. Proposals included launching diaspora-led cooperative investments, schemes, real estate ventures, and SMEs to tap into Uganda's fast-growing sectors. President Museveni welcomed the initiative, noting that channeling foreign remittances into productive enterprises is vital for national wealth creation. Last week, President Yoweri Museveni urged the National Defense College to introduce more strategic courses to strengthen military excellence. While officiating the graduation of 22 senior military officers in Njeru, the president emphasized the need for a capable army aligned with stable politics, a strong economy, and robust services.
of State for Defense.
His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has presided over the third graduation ceremony of 22 military officers who successfully completed a one-year course in National Security and Strategic Studies, the flagship program at the National Defense College in Njeru, Buikwe District.
They exhibited very positive attitude and commitment not only to learn, but also to share their wide experiences amongst themselves.
The officers include 2 brigadier generals, 19 colonels and 1 civilian, and 4 of them have been recognized for excellently performing during the one-year course. The Deputy Chief of Defense Forces and Inspector of Defense, Lieutenant General Samuel Okiding, emphasized that the college provides advanced military education and strategic training for both senior officers and civilians. He said that efforts are underway to increase civilian participation as the college plays a critical role in shaping leaders to address complex security challenges. He reaffirmed that while the UPDF remains a reliable force, corruption continues to destabilize the state, fueling public discontent.
So since now you are fluent with the language of national security, I welcome you back and collectively come and join us and we fight that enemy, that virus.
Meanwhile, negotiations are ongoing to procure additional land around the college to support future developments. Jacob Oboth, Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, reiterated that the current security environment demands well-trained officers capable of navigating both security and civilian dynamics. He revealed that plans are underway to establish a national defense university.
Defense University, once established, will offer other higher security-related courses, promote research and development and innovation into appropriate security systems. I am also happy to announce that the National Defense College, Uganda, will soon begin admitting course members from various ministries, departments, and agencies.
In his remarks, President Museveni stated that a successful army requires more than just training. It also depends on stable politics, a strong economy, reliable social services, a capable and healthy population.
When we got independence, we had no... Now when you go... So when we came, we had to study the anatomy of preparing security managers, defense managers. When we were training our people in Mozambique, the Mozambicans would say, number one, individual acts of a soldier, acts individual. You yourself, an individual person, to be a good soldier, to know your weapon, to know how to handle it, to know how to take cover, how to advance under fire, yourself as an individual first.
He emphasized that UPDF institutions like the National Defense College are critical in fostering strategic thinking across leadership levels.
Strategic level is different from tactical, from operational, which are part of the effort. Strategic level is A to Z. When you understand the situation from A to Z, then that's the strategic grasp of what you are dealing with. So now, this one, for some time, we were sending our people to South Africa, to India, I think. Then we started sending a few to Kenya. But I'm glad now we have it here.
Since its launch on the 28th of January 2022, the National Defense College has become a vital pillar in Uganda's efforts to strengthen the national security capacity. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News, at the National Defense College in Njeru, Buikwe District.
Addressing the nation last week, President Museveni declared Uganda's transition from a least developed country to middle-income status. He cited the country's economic growth projected to hit $61.3 billion in the 2024-2025 financial year as a key milestone. Take a look.
The Minister of Finance, Matia Kasaija, presented the national budget for the financial year 2025-26 to Parliament on behalf of the President. The total resource envelope for the financial year 2025-26 stands at 72.4 trillion Ugandan shillings. Regarding the economic performance and outlook, Minister Kasaija noted that Uganda's economy has demonstrated increased resilience to both domestic and global shocks and is expected to grow by 6.3% in the financial year 2024-25. In nominal terms, the economy is estimated at 226.3 trillion Ugandan shillings, equivalent to $61.3 billion. President Museveni, in his response to the economic report, reiterated that Uganda has firmly moved out of the least developed category and now ranks as middle-income country.
We are now a lower middle-income country. In 1986, the size of the GDP was $3.9 billion. So you can see the economy has grown more than 20 times from that time. The cattle compensation, Teso, Lango, Acholi, we have already spent 200 billion shillings on that. Who got this money? And we have now budgeted for another 80 billion. You had it being read here. So you, the leaders, follow up with this money.
President Museveni further highlighted that this budget underscores key economic fundamentals that deserve attention, including sustained GDP growth, price stability and other macroeconomic indicators.
Are the prices stable or not? Currency stability. Is the currency stable or not? Jobs. Are jobs being created or not? Export earnings. Are the export earnings going up or not? And then finally, FDI receipts, the foreign direct investment. Are they coming in or not? I thought.
Additionally, President Museveni addressed the persistent issue of corruption, emphasizing that politics should be driven by principles and policies rather than by the pursuit of money.
That these practices of bribes and fundraising are overthrowing the voters' power. The voters, you are overthrowing your own power by electing people because they have given you money. Because then you are power to elect leaders that will work with the central government to solve the problems of the voters, such as infrastructure. These are digitized number plates with the central command post. You touch it, the command post alarm goes off. This is the work of the digital number plates, not collecting fines and so on. I think the confusion about fines could be because we didn't have money, and we told these people to do the number plates, maybe recover the money from those who make mistakes, fines. I don't know. I think that's where the confusion started.
I'm Namka Farida and Gloria Guitabinji.
During last week's budget reading at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds, President Museveni called for deeper African integration to open up markets for Uganda's growing surplus in products like milk, cement and sugar. The president urged leaders across the continent to abandon politics of identity and focus on uniting African economies.
Prosperity can only come from producing a good or a service.
It was silence in the House as the head of state shared historical wisdom. President Museveni recounted colonial injustices that drove Africa into unending dependence on donors, challenges which did not spare Uganda.
Are the Africans entitled and do they deserve prosperity like all the other people in the world? If the answer is yes, the next question would be, where does prosperity come from? Can prosperity sustainably come from begging? Because you remember the issue of aid. Can you get prosperity through aid? Our answer was no.
This is what he wants to see an end to, with Pan-Africanism and regional integration as the answers.
We discovered that the internal market is not enough. As we speak today, Uganda has got surplus of milk, maize, bananas, beef, sugar, cement, steel products of certain types, etc., as the minister was telling you here. Where do we sell all these? This is when the NRM asked the Ugandans the following questions. Number one, have you heard of East Africa? Because you are stuck with your products. Have you heard of East Africa? Because you are busy with the tribes. Some people are telling you, we, as Banyankore, we, as Baganda, we, as Acholi, some of those pharaohs are busy telling you about the tribes. Ifanga abasoga bene, we as this one. But why don't we solve the? If those are enough, why do we have a problem of surplus milk, surplus sugar, surplus this? And this is where the NRM said, "Have you heard of East Africa? Have you heard of Africa?"
By doing this, market for the surplus products produced across nations will be guaranteed, the success of which will require trade balance.
In addition, we have got COMESA and the CFTA, the Continental Free Trade Area. We need to remove all the trade barriers and develop infrastructure to facilitate this trade. However, we also need to ensure that countries that are beginning to come up are assisted. We don't want a common market where some countries benefit, others lose. No, it's very dangerous. The countries which are coming up must be assisted so that they also trade equitably. We should never allow trade imbalances among member states to persist. This market integration will address the historical mission of prosperity.
In driving this agenda, it will also take strategic security to register success.
This strategy we always commend to our supporters is to work for economic integration of the whole of Africa so as to support prosperity of the African people and support the additional political integration in the parts of Africa where it is feasible by creating political federations such as the Political Federation of East Africa.
A cocktail of all leaders who had listened in silence while taking notes agreed with the president.
Uganda is taking off. We are beginning to become productive, adding value to our goods. We need markets for this. And in order to achieve that, we will have to reach out beyond our boundary.
But we earn now a lot of money from the maize because the Kenyans, as they are known for eating ugali, they are getting all that maize from Uganda. And besides, they say maize from Uganda, posho from Uganda is very sweet. So we need that oneness. We need that oneness for us to be able to expand our market.
Our regional market, Ugandan market, domestic consumption of fish, and direct exports will help us widen the market for fish.
The 2025-2026 budget will be effected under the theme full monetization of the Ugandan economy through commercial agriculture, industrialization, expanding and broadening services, digital transformation, and market access. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Finance Minister Matia Kasaija last week presented Uganda's 72.4 trillion shillings budget for the 2025-2026 financial year. He encouraged Ugandans to seize the opportunities within the budget, especially government wealth creation programs like the PDM Uganda agricultural financing. Despite concerns, the minister assured the public that Uganda's debt remains sustainable.
On the budget day, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, first highlighted some of the areas for improvement in the next financial year.
The need to strengthen the oversight of our wealth creation funds, notably the parish development model, the youth livelihood, UWEP, SAGE, so that the funds actually reach their intended beneficiaries. Two, to strengthen the implementation and oversight of high-impact projects under the NDP4 so that the intended objectives are achieved.
The Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaija, also gave accountability of the concluding financial year budget, which among others witnessed the private sector growth to shillings 23.3 trillion in March 2025 from shillings 21.9 trillion in June 2024.
In March 2024, Uganda met the criteria for graduation from this category of least developed countries. Despite global uncertainties, the Uganda shilling has been among the few most stable currencies in Africa.
The continued implementation of government interventions, especially in agriculture, industry and services like ICT, has aided the expansion of the size of the economy to shillings 226.3 trillion in financial year 2024-2025 from 203.7 trillion shillings in financial year 2023-2024.
Uganda has maintained its top ranking as one of the best investment destinations in Africa. Foreign direct investments were worth US $3.4 billion in 12 months to March 2025.
In the 72.376 trillion budget, the health sector was boosted with the funding of 5.87 trillion shillings, including the funds for the National Ambulance and Emergency Care System, which was halted in the last financial year.
Drug dispensing and monitoring the attendance of health workers. Strengthened the National Ambulance and Emergency Care System by providing additional ambulances to improve the national emergency response and referral system.
The development of the controversial Boa Specialized Hospital has been reported at 68%, as Minister Kasaija stresses that the training of specialists is ongoing. This hospital has since received over 700 billion shillings of the COFAS fund. The wealth creation programs have maintained funding, especially the PDM, which has been allocated 1.059 trillion shillings, Emyoga 100 billion, and Grow Project 231.3 billion shillings.
I therefore implore Ugandans to grow more coffee and, most importantly, add value to our coffee before we export it for higher earnings. Madam Speaker, for the year ending March 2025, the Middle East was Uganda's top export destination, followed by the East African Community, Asia, and the European Union.
Another area prioritized is the mineral-based industrial development, including oil and gas, where 875.8 billion will accommodate the construction of the oil refinery and refined products pipeline, among others. Space has been allocated to add Uganda Airlines funds to acquire more aircraft, open up more routes for passenger and cargo transportation, and as well, the operationalization of the Kabalega International Airport is due next financial year. These are entailed in the 6.92 trillion budget for the integrated transport and infrastructure services. Minister Kasaija is optimistic that Tororo-Gulu meter gauge railway line will be fully rehabilitated.
Take full advantage of the innumerable opportunities contained in this budget. Innumerable opportunities in this budget.
The revenue collection in the next financial year 2025-2026 is projected at 37.55 trillion shillings, including tax and non-tax revenue. This is amid the public debt, which is projected to hit 116 trillion by end of June 2025. Government says the debt is sustainable and is to remain so in the medium to long term.
The debt has financed investments that support private sector growth by providing requisite infrastructure. Over the last 10 years, the areas which public debt has financed, including integrated transport infrastructure, 29.3%, electricity infrastructure, including power generation plants and transmission lines.
It is on record that Uganda Revenue Authority has never hit the target of revenue collection in the past 5 years. What remains is whether the registered ceiling in the next financial year will be met.
Inflation is expected to remain below the policy target of 5% per annum.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
It was a big budget week across East Africa as Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda and Tanzania all tabled their national budgets for the 2025-2026 financial year. The budget revealed shared priorities, including infrastructure development, agricultural transformation and domestic revenue program growth.
The government of the United Republic of Tanzania has today unveiled 5 key priorities for the 2025-2026 National Development Plan, which marks the 5th and the final phase of the 3rd National Development Plan 2021-2022 to 2025-2026. Focus areas in the budget are promoting a competitive and inclusive economy, enhancing industrial production and service delivery, boosting investment and trade, advancing human development and fostering skills development. Tanzania's budget spending for the next financial year is seen at 56.49 trillion shillings in the fiscal year 2025-2026. To Kenya, amidst protests in the capital Nairobi, the Kenyan Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi tabled a budget statement containing spending plans of at least 4.29 trillion Kenyan shillings. The budget highlighted the Kenyan government's spending priorities for the fiscal year running from July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. The Kenyan budget prioritizes boosting revenues to service debt while avoiding tax measures that triggered deadly protests same time last year. The Kenyan economy is projected to grow by 5.3% in the next financial year. And to Rwanda, Rwanda has approved a US $4.8 billion budget for the 2025-2026 financial year, up 21% from the current fiscal year budget. The 7,000 billion Rwandan francs budget aims to support strategic investments, including the Kigali International Airport and the expansion of the national carrier Rwandair. Other priorities include industrialization, boosting agricultural productivity, expanding electricity and clean water access, improving transport and modernizing education and healthcare. Dennis Igoa for UBC.
Still on Budget Day last week, President Museveni openly criticized the hefty and questionable fines under the express penalty system. His comments followed the temporary suspension of the system by Works Minister General Katumba Wamala pending further review.
President Yoweri Museveni, during his 2025-2026 national budgetary reading at Kololo, explained that the government introduced the EPS automated system under the Intelligent Transport Monitoring System initiative to curb road crime, but strongly rejected the imposition of harsh penalties on motorists. The president's remarks came after the Ministry of Works and Transport suspended the system for traffic enforcement, pending a one-month review.
The one who's going to kill people doesn't call witnesses to see him. So I said, please, let's go technical. Let's have cameras. Now the cameras have helped us to handle a number of things. But the problem they have is that the number plates, these ones which are just, these are digitized number plates. I think the confusion about fines could be because we didn't have money and we told these people to do the number plates, maybe recover the money from those who make mistakes, fines. I don't know, I think that's where the confusion started. But the issue is about the number plate is digitized. Every vehicle must have a digital number plate, traceable by the central machinery, central command. These number plates which are put on and put off, these are meaningless. This is the whole thing about the digital number plates. It's not about money, fines, what, no. It's about security.
Some victims of the penalties shared their experiences today.
We shall violate the rules when not because we need, but because we don't know what to do.
I got the ticket after 3 days. I didn't even know what's there. And then they sent for me the picture of the car. Because of that time, if I was seeing, it was 45, but the signpost was reading 30.
The system had significantly affected Fly Express travelers, a transport company operating along the Entebbe Express Highway, particularly in the Chituburu area, where several of their vehicles were flagged and fined heavily.
I reached on that traffic light that was it in Katabi. It's 45 there. I didn't even reach for good 50 to 60. No, I think it was right 45. Now the boss called me. We are got a ticket for 200. You go and pay it. And then I went and paid. But I didn't know what happened. What is going on? How these things are starting.
Motorists and drivers welcomed the ministry's decision to review the system, but called for measures such as public sensitization.
Let them work on road signs. Other road signs, we are not seeing them. We are not seeing them. Let them put where it's big, we shall see from far. We shall know there's a road sign in front, this one 30, the next one is 40, the next one is 50.
I think now that the government has suspended the system a little bit, for them to sit down and look through it and revise the possible shortfalls that this came with. It is very well planned. I think it is a very, very good system that will, at the end of the day, reduce on the number of accidents happening along highway roads.
According to the ministry's official communication, the suspension will run until June 12, 2025. Amai Vanjuko and Mike Bakabulindi for UBC.
Last week, Prime Minister Nabanja invited the governor of Hunan province to Uganda to explore further investment opportunities. The invitation was extended during bilateral talks held on the sidelines of the China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo in Changsha.
Hunani province, located in the central China, has a population of over 66 million people out of 1.4 billion people in China. The province has a nominal GDP of $747 billion as compared to that of Uganda with only close to $50 billion. Uganda being one of the best investment destinations in Africa, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robert Nabanja, is keen to attract potential investors from Hunani province in China. During the meeting with the governor of Hunani province, Nabanja extended an olive invitation to the governor of Hunani province, Mao Wei-ming, and explore more opportunities for the Chinese investors.
Your Excellency, let us take this opportunity to strengthen our brotherly relationship and further explore new areas of cooperation. I want to also take this opportunity to invite you to Uganda.
Now we are witnessing the peak of the relationship between China and Uganda, and Hunan, as a very important province in this aspect, has established a long-term mechanism of cooperation and exchanges with Uganda.
Uganda had earlier attracted investors from Hunani who have helped the country to increase on her electricity generation capacity.
The company that constructed the Karuma hydropower project, that is Sino Hydro Bureau 8, as its headquarters in Changsha. Entebbe and Changsha have become sister cities since 2003, and the government of Changsha funded the renovation works of Entebbe Changsha Model School, the Confucius institution co-established by Shantam University.
Uganda and Hunan have met each other in halfway in terms of our cooperation. We have a very promising field of infrastructure construction and the Beidou navigation satellite and new energy, culture and tourism and broadcasting system.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister also met the Chinese Foreign Affairs Minister Wang Yi and proposed to the Chinese government the priority areas of cooperation.
Following flagship projects require funding. One is Chibuye Busega Express project, which requires $229 million. Then the infrastructure development for digitalizing the health information, the Uganda National Backbone Infrastructure Project, phase number 7, the construction of the East African crude oil pipeline, the electrification infrastructure for the standard gauge railway, expansion of Entebbe International Airport, and then the support to Uganda Development Corporation, UDC, the investment arm of our government, and the support to appropriate agricultural technologies for increased production, productivity, value addition, and market access infrastructure.
The Prime Minister also thanked the Chinese government for supporting Uganda in her development agenda, especially the infrastructure projects in Uganda.
600 megawatt Karuma hydropower plant. I also want to thank you for Entebbe Express Highway, the expansion of the Entebbe International Airport, the China-Uganda Friendship Hospital, and many others. The government of Uganda reaffirms its commitment to strengthen bilateral relations with the People's Republic of China.
So we are very grateful, and the Right Honourable Prime Minister expressed her gratitude in inviting you to come and enjoy the dishes from Uganda as well.
We are fully confident about the prospect of the growth of China-Uganda relations in the future. I hope and believe that our relationship will grow in a healthy, stable, and sustainable manner. All these projects you have brought up today concern the future development or revitalization of Uganda. We will take them very seriously. Today, together with us here are the officials from the Foreign Ministry and the Ministry of Commerce.
The bilateral meetings were at the sideline of the 4th China-Africa Economic Trade Expo in the city of Changsha.
Last week, First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports Janet Museveni bid farewell to outgoing Israeli Ambassador, His Excellency Michael Lutem, at State House Nikasero. She commended Israel's long-standing support in sectors such as education and agriculture and reflected on suspended bilateral programs that have benefited Ugandans.
Support in education, agriculture, and capacity building. She also acknowledged Israel's current challenges and assured the ambassador of Uganda's unwavering friendship, continued prayers, and support. The First Lady discussed key suspended bilateral programs, including the Agro-Studies program, which provided Ugandan students with hands-on agricultural training in Israel, and the Mashav program, which offered short courses benefiting various participants, including teachers. In his remarks, Ambassador Lutem extended gratitude to the government of Uganda for its unwavering friendship and support. Reflecting on the crisis in Israel, the ambassador discussed the challenges of global misinformation, particularly in Western media. He urged Uganda, as chair of the non-allied movement, to stand in solidarity with Israel in international forums, especially during upcoming UN deliberations. The ambassador also discussed potential new partnerships with Israel companies in Uganda's education sector and, however, advocated for careful evaluation of future proposals to ensure transparency and impact. Ambassador Lutem thanked the First Lady and President Yoweri Museveni for their steadfast support and warmth, highlighting the unique solidarity Uganda has shown Israel during these challenging times. Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo.
Hi, Mango Senior School. We are here to reward one of our winners that paid school fees with Momo, and they got themselves school fees for a whole year.
The winner is my little sister. We loaded the money on my line. We did a payment. So basically that's the story behind as to why it's me and then mom. It's such a relief for any parent, because you imagine sitting at the back and knowing the child is going to do school for a full year. You're not worried about anything whatsoever. So I'm excited. Thank you, MTN.
This is continuous, so please, I call upon everyone to continue paying school fees with Momo. Dial *165 *80 hash and pay school fees with Momo and stand a chance to win school fees for a whole year.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
You got us on your wallet. Bobby, again, what's this drama?
Drama? Colleagues, elections for special interest groups are calling. SITs, elections, youth, PWD's elderly. It's time to vote for our leaders, June through August. From village to parish to district to nationals, youth, PWD's elderly. It's time, go vote your leaders.
No!
FOB! Elections are supposed to be peaceful. Easy vote, okay?
Youth, elderly, and persons with disabilities. It's time to choose our leaders. Let's show up and participate in the special interest group elections. Starting June through August this year. Your vote, your voice. My vote, my voice. This message is brought to you by the Uganda Electoral Commission.
From the day your child is born, you want to protect them. You want to protect them from the harm you know and the things your eyes can see. Protect them from falls when they are playing and as they are learning the world. But what protects them from the things your eyes can't see? Diseases attacking their bodies. Immunization from as early as birth, 6 weeks, 10, 14 weeks, to 9 and 18 months, and malaria starting at 6, 7, 8 to 18 months protects children from diseases, giving them the foundation they need to grow stronger and healthier.
Parents and caregivers, remember to immunize your children 9 times from birth to 18 months to protect them against vaccine-preventable diseases such as measles, rubella, polio, pneumonia, hepatitis B, tuberculosis, tetanus, meningitis, yellow fever, diarrhea, whooping cough, diphtheria, and malaria. All vaccines used for immunization are safe, effective, and free. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF, WHO, and partners.
I got to learn about the Powerball through the website www.nationallottery.go.ug. Played Powerball tickets worth 5,000, used an option of quick pick, and that's how I was able to be the lucky one to win 35 million. I checked my tickets online and I found out that I had winning numbers. The feeling was incredible and full of excitement. I would advise everyone who is 18 and above that whatever you're seeing here exemplifies reality. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Uganda National Lottery for bringing us this opportunity to win millions.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. Lastly, youth leaders from the NRM in Busoga have pledged unwavering support for President Sharon Museveni and the NRM party in the upcoming election, despite the growing youth wave championed by the National Unity Platform. This was revealed during the launch of the campaign caucus at the source of the Nile Park, where they also endorsed the Right Honourable Rebecca Kadaga for the position of NRM's second National Vice Chairperson, female and Eastern Region.
Vice Chairperson of the young people of Mayuge. Today we have had a caucus meeting as the youth leaders, NRM youth leaders of Busoga, and we have voted for our leadership that will spearhead the leadership of the NRM within the young people in Busoga. And I want to comfortably communicate that our chairperson of the NRM, of all the NRM leaders of Busoga, is Kaima Alex from Kamuli, and he has all the other executives. But most importantly today, as the young people of Busoga, we have endorsed Right Honourable Rebecca Kadaga to continue with the legacy, to lead and to mentor us as the young leaders of Busoga and Uganda at large. This does not come as a privilege, but this comes with the good deeds that she has done for Uganda, for the NRM party, and for Busoga as a whole. So viva NRM, viva Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
The NRM youth chairpersons of Busoga, we would feel so much better to maintain our second member, the Right Honourable Dr. Rebecca Kadaga, as the second National Vice Chairperson, female. Though there is a wave that is against her, we would wish that we maintain her for reasons. One, it is always good to have a leader that you can approach with a lot of access, like Kadaga has been.
That Busoga is for NRM, Busoga is for Kadaga, Busoga is for President Museveni.
NRM for Busoga.
NRM Joe. The losing is 0. The winning.
Religious and political leaders in the Karamoja sub-region have called for the economic empowerment of women as a key driver for community transformation. Take a look.
The Karamoja Women Umbrella Organization, in partnership with the Karamoja Women Cultural Group and the Beam Women Together in Development Initiative, is leading the WEAVE project. The 3 billion shilling project, funded by the Royal Danish Embassy, the Embassy of Ireland, the Kingdom of Sweden and the Netherlands, will be implemented in Moroto, Napak, Nakapiriprit, Kabong and Abim districts. The project aims to strengthen women's ability to demand their rights, engage in decision-making and work alongside cultural leaders and men to amplify their voices. It also promotes gender-responsive budgeting and encourages communities to embrace women's and girls' rights.
So much negative discriminatory social norms that affect women's work participation. In the morning, the religious leaders say that when you are born a girl and you're born a boy, at the end of the day, there was no much difference.
Thomas Oderok, the executive director of the Karamoja Women Umbrella Organization, said the project will also support women aspiring for elective position.
They have gone, and after the general election, we will still go for mapping to identify those that have gone through, and we now train them, induct them on the legal framework. Maybe for those who have gone through on the council, we shall orient them on the local government, local government act in order for them to understand how to maybe prompt emotions, how to engage stakeholders.
Bishop Michael Chori of Karamoja Diocese urged project implementers to prioritize grassroots.
They must actually go down deeper to the rural woman, because sometimes when things are done at this high level, the rural woman is not involved of where the rest are moving into. And yet this is where we can say oppression, marginalization of the voice of a woman is faintly heard.
Participants emphasized the importance of women's economic empowerment.
The economic aspect have disabled most women from venturing into the space where they would have constructively contributed. An example is sometimes a woman is challenged. She is not able to raise the nomination fees. A woman is challenged. There is a wider geographical space that she has to cover and speak to the electorate.
Economic empowerment actually train them on how to make money, train them on how to actually do work, and when they do work, they're able to help.
Kabong District Resident Commissioner Latek Odong highlighted the challenge of weak collective bargaining among special interest groups after Karamoja's division into eastern and northern.
It comes to special interest elections. Since the affirmative elections of youth have started, Karamoja has never had a youth being elected. Why? Because the northern Karamoja is treated as a northern bloc. It goes to northern Uganda. Southern Karamoja is taken as the eastern bloc. At the end of the day, the collective vote from Karamoja is not there. It deserves a special question.
The project was officially launched in Moroto District. The event attracted religious and political leaders, development partners and other stakeholders from across the country, from across the sub-region. Charity Marion Imnat and Maureen Iga for UBC News.
That's all we had for you this afternoon. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. Have a lovely afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the rider selection campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends friends to form a team of 4 and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.